Hi besties, I'm Dana and I'm going to show you how to create this look step by step. Oh my god, I'm doing a makeup tutorial again. I am so excited to bring back makeup tutorials because I've been wanting to, but you know how I sometimes do voiceovers and sometimes I don't? Well, I had a hard time choosing what I liked better, but I said, screw it, I want to talk to you guys face on, so here I am talking to you guys face on. So something about me is that a lot of my looks are actually inspired by like songs and music. I love keeping up with my favorite artists. Music's just a really big part of my life. And Miss Ariana Grande just released a beautiful song called Hate That I Made You Love Me, and it inspired me because it gave me this like ethereal, woodsy vibes. I don't know how else to explain it, but I had this vision in my head and it was purely inspired by the song. The look itself has nothing to do with the song. But anyways, this look is called Bouquet. Let me show you how to do it. Here's our wonderful face chart, which I did a time lapse of how I did it, which I thought was something cool that I should share with you guys. So follow me on TikTok and Instagram where you can see those cool little bits of me planning. And the final pictures, duh. Stay hydrated. I'm notorious for having audio issues, so let's see how I mess it up this time.
This time you mess something else up. You'll see it later on.
But anyways, let's start by clipping our hair back because the hair goes at the very end. I always have tried doing my hair before or after doing my makeup, but I always like doing it after with creative looks. I just feel like the vision comes together better. I've done it backwards and sometimes I don't like it. So let's watch me do it this way and still not like it. Alrighty besties, we're gonna start off by switching our contacts or adding contacts if you don't wear any. Especially when it comes to creative looks, I always say that contacts make the biggest difference. I mean it. But since I am blind, mine are in prescription. So let me take off my clear ones so I can put in the cool ones. The contacts I'm going to be wearing today are by the brand Bouquet. They were kind enough to send me some of their lenses a while back now, but I actually really liked these. I don't use any of the little, like an eye scooper thing that it comes with, a suction thing, because I'm just an expert. Duh. Whoa. I'm not crying, it's the contact solution. Oh, maybe I'm crying. Oh my god, I think there's an eyelash in my eye. Give me a sec. Oh my god, there's an eyelash in my eye. Oh, that feels a lot better. Did I mention I've been sick? Oh, I've been not having a great time. But look at the difference now that my eyes are red. Did I put in the wrong side? Whatever, it is what it is. I'm putting on, that's how they're going. Okay, I think I'm done fighting for my life for now. My eyes look super red and it's because I rubbed the heck out of them because yeah, but now we're ready to rumble. To start off this look, I'm gonna do the most unpredictable thing, aka the most predictable thing for me, because I always like to not do my eyebrows. It's not that I don't do my eyebrows, it's just that I'm a simple girl when it comes to them. I'm using my NYX Control Freak clear brow gel just to kind of tame them. I feel like this is just so copy paste of every single look that I do. Unless it's like more theatrical and more like a character driven look, I will usually fill them in darker, but I just feel like I have such dark hair already that it's not that necessary. I'm not saying that I have thick eyebrows. I actually wish they were a little bit more defined, but for the moment being, gel is just enough for me. I do like to press them down with my fingers though. I feel like it's combing them. Moving on, I'm going to carve my eyebrows. I'm just going to define them a little bit. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, one of the best concealers. I actually just talked about this concealer and e.l.f. in general in my last Face Value episode, which is my Beauty Deep Dive series. So definitely check it out if you like beauty deep dives. I go from educational videos to pop culture to one of my favorite videos was when I dissected all the makeup looks in the Met Gala, well, my top 10 favorite ones. But yeah, it's a cool series. I'm using my little flower nose mirror. I like to use a flat brush. This one's by Sigma. I lied. This one's by MAC. This one's by MAC and she's vintage because I can't read the number on it, but I can read that it says MAC. So this is actually a MAC brush. It's a flat concealer brush. I have similar ones by Sigma, but now that I'm actually using it, I do recall getting this one because this one's smaller, which is really great for precision. So I'm just gonna go ahead and carve out just the natural shape of my eyebrows. It's not like I'm carving them like in 2016, which I actually never went through that 2016 eyebrow phase because I was scared of it because I saw people getting made fun of for their eyebrows and I got like spooked out of doing my eyebrows. Maybe that's why I don't do maybe that's where the trauma with my eyebrows arises. I honestly thought 2016 eyebrows were so pretty. I just thought that I wasn't skilled enough to do them, and honestly I was not at all. I always blend downwards, and then once I got the product somewhat down, I'm gonna take a different blending brush, or I mean a different concealer brush. This is a stiffer one from Real Techniques. This one comes in that, like, have you guys seen that 5-pack that Real Techniques has that comes with a beauty sponge? That one I'm pretty sure. I use that to buff everything out because it really disperses the product product evenly. I don't think there's a number on it because I think I've tried to see it before and there's like, oh, it's also faded. Everything's vintage in my collection, apparently. To set my lid, I'm gonna use my House Labs powder. This is like my everything. If you follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, you know that I use it every single time I do my makeup pretty much. I sometimes switch it up with like Hourglass because I also love the Hourglass powder, but this is my go-to. I think I like it so much to set my lid even because it's super thin. Lady Gaga, you did your thing with this powder and your beauty line in general. Anyways, set your lid like that. You could also use like a nude eyeshadow, but I just feel like the translucent powder is much thinner. Too thick of layers make too thick of problems. Someone put that on a t-shirt. Anyways, do the same on the other side, bestie. If you only see like half of me, is because I'm working real up close and personal for my left eye. Because for me, my left eyebrow has less hair than this one, so I need to like even it out somehow, and that's usually in the carving of the eyebrow. But for me, honestly, when it comes to symmetry with the eyebrows, as long as the start points are the same, I feel like it kind of follows itself. Once upon a time, I used to fill in my eyebrows after this step, but I honestly just wasn't skilled to layer products yet because I was using powder and it would mix with the gel and then it would get all like crumply and weird. Don't do that. I love that the day that I decide to mic up is the day that I'm sniffling every 5 seconds. But don't worry, I'm gonna try to cut them out. And just like that, we have a nice base for our eye makeup. I think I just broke my drawer. Give me a sec. Speaking of eye makeup, I'm going to be using the Mehron Very Messy because it's very well loved Paradise face paints. I'm using the black one. I know it seems like there's nothing in here, but the whole rim around the edges is full of product, and I promise you, you don't throw things away at this point. There's like so many uses left in this, and that's not me being frugal. I have a new one. Like, it's water activated. You'll see, there's so much product in this. We're gonna get our graphic liner on. I'm gonna pick out a very thin brush because I want precision. Some of my eyeliner brushes are actually paint brushes just because I like a really thin brush. I'm gonna go in with this one. It's just a thin brush, and this will be able to thin out once it's wet to go really thin. Like I said, these are water activated, so take some water and spray it, and then you can go ahead and take your brush. By the way, the more water you add, the more diluted it is. The less you add, the more pigmented it is. Because as you can see, definitely product in there. I always like to warm it up in the back of my hand before I go in and start holding my breath. And I'm gonna take my eyeliner. I'm using this because it glides easier rather than a gel liner or even like a liquid liner. I just feel like this glides easier and you have more control because you're using the brush. I'm gonna start by creating a line above my crease all the way through. What's important with this is to not stop. She looks messy, don't worry. Because we're going for a branch look, it's not really that I need that precise of application. And I did draw out my branches, but I don't really do it copy paste because it's just hard to mimic something. I like to go with the flow. So from this line, I'm gonna start kind of expanding on it on both the top and the bottom to kind of make this kind of almost like spooky looking liner. My like inspo was like forests, so that's kind of what I'm going for. We're trying to give you the creeps in my own little way. Then you could take your concealer brush with no extra product and then just kind of start tweaking anything you want a little bit thinner. You can always go back in to redo your little lines. It's basically like sketching in a sketchbook. I just made this a little bit thicker so that it looks a little bit more cohesive. I feel like once you get the main sketch down, that's when you can start adding details that you like. At least that's just how my brain works. Before I do anything else to this one, I'm gonna catch up this side. I wish I could have added Ari's song into this video, but obviously I can't because of copyright reasons, but it's genuinely stuck in my head. When you're doing the other side, don't worry too much about symmetry when it comes to making them exactly identical because no two branches are the same, but you should try to aim for having somewhat of the same starting point just to keep the harmony in the look. And don't do that. I'm so unseasoned right now. That's what happens when you have stuff on the back of your hand, so beware. But also that's the beauty of doing your eyes first, because imagine if I had a base on, I might have actually flipped my vanity. Just kidding. Another one of my inspos, oh my god, I've never played this game, but I want to so badly. What is it called? It's like a spooky game. Spooky game. Okay, good one, Dana. Oh my god. It's going to kill me. Is it called Night something? It's like this cute little character. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the same color scheme that I'm trying to go for. And I would have more tips for you when it comes to eyeliner in general, but I truly believe that practice makes perfect and the right tools set you up for success. So like the right brush, the right eyeliner. Some eyeliners are just not good. Sorry, not sorry. Use face paint if you're not gonna be crying or in the rain. I did a really cool graphic liner look a while ago. It had to be over a year ago now. That was like flames, and I really like that one. It's called Moth to a Flame. It's up on my channel. Totally check it out if you want to see more cool graphic liner looks. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, I used the Mayron face paints as well. If not, I used the Inglot liner in that one. Had to be one or the other. We're kind of looking like barbed wire. How cute. Now, when you do want to clean up with concealer, this is what you're gonna do. Take the flat brush, not another brush, flat brush. Just take what's at the rim of your concealer, right? Warm it up on the back of your hand so you're not putting on huge globs. Make sure that you run it on like the tip so that you get all that product on the tip, which is the detail part. And then you can kind of clean up some bits. And before you double dip, make sure you clean it off, because you're not gonna want to take any of that product that you just took off and reapply it into the same spot. That's when it gets all muddy and all messy, so don't do that. Hollow, something hollow. Hollow Knight. Oh my goodness, it's Hollow Knight. That's the vibe. I've never played that game, but I'm saying that's the vibe. Should I? I like kind of suck at games in general, but it looks so cute. I like Infinity Nikki. Now that we look somewhat like a hybrid between barbed wire and a tree, now we're gonna make this look like an actual makeup look. You're gonna wanna take a black eyeshadow. I'm using this one from the Norvina Volume 6 palette, Volume 6 palette. I'm going to use a angled brush, and I'm going to dip into that black shade, and I'm going to create a really smoked out wing. So I'm just going to take it and follow the same line as my branch, so almost like it's connecting, but then bringing it inwards and following it along as if it was an eyeliner. I'm using the shadow so it looks softer, and I want it to look almost like diffused. Since we have the really cool contacts on, it's really gonna make our eyes pop even more. I'm gonna make a little cat eye. I like using an angled brush because it makes it so much easier to get that shape. And I'm just gonna kind of thicken it up. Don't worry about being messy, because we kind of want the messiness for this look. Funny enough. Sometimes the most imperfect things are the ones that look the most perfect. So then I'm taking a really teeny tiny brush, and then I'm just gonna run back and forth on the top to fade it out. I want it to fade into my lid. Kind of like smoke in a forest. And then I could start extending my wing farther. And you want your darkest point to be closest to the lash line, so I'm revisiting, just kind of stamping in the black. And now that you kind of have this type of look going on, you want to take your concealer once again. Again, I'm taking kind of like at the rim of it, warming it up, and then I'm gonna sharpen my wing. And it's going to give us a really nice contrast between the super faded and the super sharp. So one straight line and always blend downwards. And remember, fallout is a thing we don't want to transfer anywhere, so get rid of any that you see. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to the inner cat eye. And we're going to repeat on the other side. When I was first learning how to do eyeliner, I couldn't do it to save my life, and sometimes I still can't do it to save my life. But using shadow instead of a actual like gel or liquid liner really helped me get it down when it comes to the shape, because it's a lot more forgiving. You can clean it up easier, and it just glides on so smooth. So if you're barely getting into eyeliner and you're struggling with it, try getting an angled eyebrow brush and dipping it into any, literally you can do it with any color, and doing your eyeliner that way, because I promise you it'll save your life. You know, working as a professional makeup artist, I got taught to always do the base first, because that's like the pro way to do it. I just think that it's easier to do your eyes first, and I'll die on that hill. I think it has nothing to do with your level of professionalism, whether you want to do your eyes first or your base first. I think it's a preference thing, and that's all I have to say on that. And I get it, they want you to be super precise and do everything on the first go, but I genuinely think that's not something that needs to be taught like that. I learned a lot of good things in beauty school, but like that was one of the things that I was like, that's a little unnecessary. If anything, I feel like it hinders the whole look. And I know other people that felt the same. I feel like you're just hyper fixated on not ruining the base, which makes you not focus that much on the eyes. I feel like if you have full leeway and you're not worrying about not messing up the base, then you do a better job, but that's just me. But anytime that I did anybody's makeup as a professional, I always did their eyes first. But also respect to anyone that does have that preference, because oh my goodness, that's tough. I love a good inner cat eye. I feel like I always end up doing it even if I don't face chart it. Like when I face charted this look, there's no cat eye, but we have free will. So if I want one, why not? If you want one, why not? If you don't want one, why not? Makeup is all for funsies. I make a lot of beauty education videos, but like really there's no right or wrong way to do your makeup. And I feel like I preface that in every single video that I make. Me making sure that the mic is still going because I always have some freaking audio issue. Is this the one where you can actually hear me? Now before we do more fun stuff to the eyes, we're gonna do our base real quick. I think since my look is inspired by Ari's song, it's only fitting that I use REM Beauty. So I'm gonna be using the Sweetener foundation. I absolutely love this foundation. I've talked about it plenty of times on my Instagram and TikTok. I'm gonna spread it out with the concealer brush. It's a weird strategy, but it works. And as you can see, one pump gives you a lot of product. And then one of my favorite ways to blend out my foundation lately has been with, actually for a while, not even just lately, is with one of these like flat puffs. I'm sure you've seen them online. I got mine off of Amazon, but it really blends everything in so nicely and conserves all of that coverage. And another reason I wanted to use this foundation is because it has a very velvety finish, which I thought would be perfect for this look because I didn't want to go necessarily for a super glowy look because I want to add a bunch of shimmer to this. So I think this one was the perfect choice. And this is what we're looking like. Crazy. I know, we look crazy. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. concealer, and now I'm just gonna apply it on my under eyes and on my forehead and a little bit on these little corners right here. And again, using my brush, I'm gonna kind of trickle it closer to my eye makeup, but I'm using my brush so I don't lose that precision, kind of retracing that sharpness that I had already given it and then blending it downwards. I'm gonna get my powder ready because I like to set as I go to avoid creasing. So I'm gonna get my House Labs. And my powder brush is a Real Techniques brush, by the way. I'm gonna use my stiffer brush to blend closer to my eye makeup. Ta-da! And then when we get a little bit closer to where my foundation is, I take my same puff because it still has a little bit of the foundation. And that's what I use to blend it out because I feel like it really marries the two together nicely. And I'm going to talk about full coverage, full glam. Since I already blended that side out, I'm going to set it while I'm here so that we could avoid as much creasing as possible. Though for this look, it's not going to matter that much for the under eye because we're going to kind of smoke it out. And then we're just going to do the same on the other side. You know, I have a theory behind why I used to be so scared of talking on camera or posting so much because, to be so honest, I feel like I was always meant to be a content creator. And I'm gonna tell you why. Once upon a time, I was in middle school, like most of us were at some point, and I had these friends, two friends, and I went over to one of the friends' houses, you know, so the three of us were hanging out. And honestly, the two friends were always closer with each other than they were with me, which was like totally fine. Honestly, I was just excited to be included. That sounds so sad, but I really was. And I had just gotten onto social media, and by social media I mean Snapchat. That was the first thing I ever really had, and I was so obsessed with it. I was posting everything. Like, I was documenting every single little thing that I was doing, and I was pretty cringy because I thought that to post on a story you had to send it to everybody, like click everyone you wanted to see it. So I was just sending everyone every single time I wanted to post something. I even had someone ask me to like stop sending them stuff, but that's not the point of the story. That's just kind of cringy. But I remember I was just so happy taking pictures and videos that one of the friends goes, how did she word it? Basically, she said something along the lines of, do you have to be posting everything or do you have to be recording everything? I think it was, do you have to be recording everything? And I remember it hurting my feelings so bad. And you know, technically she didn't say anything wrong, you know, like she probably just wanted to live in the moment, which I totally understand. But I felt so embarrassed for some reason because the other girl goes, yeah, my heart, my freaking heart. And I think about that every now and then when I'm like in public. This sounds so corny, but I think about it every now and then when I'm like thinking about pulling out my phone in public or something, and it generally makes me put my phone away. And I guess what I'm saying is it's their fault. I'm just kidding. But be careful what you say to people. You never know what sticks. That stuck with me. For the rest of my face, I'm using a pressed powder. This is the Revlon Color Stay, another product that I always talk about. Not using the puff though, because we don't want to cake it on. I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush to set the rest of my face. Very, very full coverage, just like I like it. Clean girl makeup, what? Kidding. I actually do love a good clean girl makeup look, but when my creative look juices are flowing, none of that. Let's move on to our face. Well, we're always working on our face, duh. What I meant is the color on our face. So I'm gonna be contouring today / bronzing with this LA Girl Just Blushing. It's supposed to be a blush, but it's like a really cool toned contour shade. Contour is adding shadows and bronzing is adding warmth. I'm only gonna be contouring today because I wanna keep this pretty cool toned. I'm gonna be using my IT Cosmetics X Wicked Collection blender brush because it's like an angled brush. I'm gonna be swirling it on here, And then I'm gonna start swirling it on the top of my cheeks. This product's actually really pigmented, so beware if you're using it. Probably because it says it's a blush. I believe I used this also in my cyber futuristic video, which was actually one of my first makeup tutorials ever, which people loved. Honestly, you guys loved it, and I think about that often. That's another reason I wanted to get back to my vision of creative looks, because when I really get into it, I really get into it. Somehow, some way, I feel all giddy about it. Every time that I do a look that I think only I will understand, it does really well on my channel. So I want to do more of these because I think you guys really enjoy them, and I enjoy that you enjoy them. I think when you're first starting out in social media, you're trying to figure out what is your thing and what people like. But I think for a while I got confused in trying to people please. I realized that's not what social media is about. I want to scale, of course. I want to do so many other things, but I want to do it authentically and doing what I love doing and what I want to put out to the world. So that's another reason why these makeup tutorials are back to stay, and another reason why I'm talking to you guys while doing this, why I'm mic'd up risking audio failures, because I guess that's my thing. I just genuinely love artistry. I love creativity, and if there's any way that I can do it in any way, shape, or form, I will. I've had a lot of side quests in my life so far, honestly. I felt so lost at one point that I went like to another trade school, because I went to makeup artistry school, but I also went to like nail school for like a hot minute, but my heart couldn't handle it, quite literally. I couldn't be inhaling the things without my heart going psh. But anyways, it's all for a reason, because I wasn't supposed to be in that position. I don't think I would have been happy as a nail tech, because that's just not my calling. But it's so hard to see things that way in the moment, you know? By the way, this is the Too Faced Too Femme blush. I'm using it as my blush today. I'm really passionate about beauty education, but I'm really passionate more than anything about artistry, creating things. If you see the intros that I do in some of my makeup tutorials, I genuinely have fun directing those. I do all of my photo editing. I have a hard time letting loose of control when it comes to creativity, and I think that's just something that is embedded in me, and it's something that I need to hone into instead of trying to diffuse it and simmer it down. This is what I do full time. I'm so blessed enough to be able to do it full time. So, you know, let's hit the gas, you know? Let me know what you want to see, because I'll give you my version of it. I want it to be heavy-handed because I'm going to be taking pictures. When you're taking pictures or doing anything on film, you want to be a lot more heavy-handed. That's another thing I learned in school. Sure, Jan. That's a bit all over my social media, by the way. We look a little crazy right now, but I promise everything pulls together. Well, technically, you've already seen the end of the look, because that's usually my intro. Okay, moving on. Now I'm gonna take a black eyeliner. This one's from Sephora Collection. Sephora Collection is very underrated, I feel. Or maybe it's because I used to work at Sephora that I've used so much Sephora Collection. But honestly, if you're on a budget or just don't want to spend that much on a really good product that's not just drugstore, even though drugstore has some of the best products, another hill I will die on, try out Sephora Collection. They have really great products. I'm using their black eyeliner all over my waterline. Don't worry about getting messy, because you're gonna smudge all of this out. I'm gonna do that to both sides. We're gonna take our angled brush that still has a little bit of our black eyeshadow. I'm not adding more product, but I'm just using it to kind of set it and also fade it out. So I'm kind of going back and forth, depositing any of the product that's on there. This just kind of intensifies the pigment and makes it last longer. And then once that's applied, I'm going in with my teeny tiny brush from earlier. And this is what I'm gonna use to diffuse all of that color. Do that on both sides, bestie. Okay, now we're gonna dive back into our Mayron paints, because we're gonna add more details. So I'm gonna add some more water back into my Mayron paint. Take my same brush again, and we're just gonna kind of extend on the branches real quick. So I'm gonna start by just kind of freehanding from the corner of my eye. I'm gonna start kind of extending on my branches a little bit like that. We're gonna do that to both sides before we add more stuff. I love adding more stuff. If you see half my face, because I'm getting crazy close.
Okay, this is the mess up I was talking about earlier. My footage didn't transfer or got corrupted, so I lost the start of the graphic liner flowers, but don't worry, I still have the important part, and I'll add the steps and captions so you can follow along anyways, because me and this footage thinks I already explained it to you.
I think I'm gonna make these two the somewhat same and then add one down here instead of up here. Screw it, let's try it. I'm gonna do these two first and then see where the placement for the third one should really go. I'm getting super close to the mirror again. By the way, this whole time I'm just working from the back of my hand. Looking at them, I think I'm going to put the third one right here so that it kind of has the same triangle, but just going the opposite way. Oh well. Keep going. Almost there. My mic's still working. So that's what these look like. We're almost done. I'm gonna refresh in my paint because I'm going to add little squiggles and little like branches essentially that are coming out of the flowers. You'll see what I mean. I'm just gonna kind of freehand swirl, swirl, swirl. So now it kind of looks like this whole face painting. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side, but like guiding it downwards. Looking a little bit like that. Notice how I did overlap some of them because branches overlap. Now I'm gonna take more rhinestones to tie everything together. These are just normal like circle ones, so they're not like the ovally ones like this. And I'm gonna add them in random little places, probably in the little swirls and in between, to kind of make everything look magical. I'm just gonna be using lash glue, literally just eyeballing it. Look at how pretty that looks. I'm just gonna add one right here. And this is what we kind of look like. Now we're practically done, but I'm gonna add mascara right now so that it dries while we do our lips. I'm using one of my favorites, which is the Essence Lash Without Limits. Me forgetting what it's called. Top and bottom lashes. We're almost done, I swear. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe to remove everything from my lips because I have some foundation on there. So I'm gonna start with this lip liner that I have to take off the cap to read because I've used it that much. Shade 4 All Natural by Milani. Love Milani. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips just like so. And to fill in my lips today, I'm gonna be using this bullet lipstick from MAC. This is in shade A75 Viva Glam V. She looks like that. It's like a shimmery shade, but there's a word for these types of lipsticks. It's very 90s, so freaking pretty. And then to top it off, because I want an extra nude lip, I'm going to be using Inglot's Sleek's Cream Lip Gloss. This one is in shade 92, and it mixes perfectly with our lipstick. Look at how pretty this lip is. Now we gotta pop on a lash. I'm going to put on these like wispy lashes and like curl them up to the sky. Real cute. Obsessulated. Adding a little bit more mascara to blend them into our natural lashes. I always like to focus it a lot on the end. Ta-da! Give me a moment while I fix this hair. What's my line? Oh yeah. And just like that, this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial and like this look as much as I do. I am absolutely obsessed with it. I had to do the half up, half down pony because Ari, and I kind of tucked in my hair so you could see full magic. I hope you guys like this return of my makeup tutorials because I'm so excited about it because I have so many ideas that I want to show you guys. Make sure you leave a comment below of what you want to see next. Make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit the little bell so you don't miss any more tutorials, tips, tricks. I also do vlogs and I have my series called Face Value, so make sure that you don't miss it. Make sure that you follow me across all platforms. I'm Dana Belen on both Instagram and TikTok. Me about to die. If you try out any of my looks, including this one, which you're like probably like, when am I ever gonna wear this? People wear my looks to festivals, which is really, really exciting for me to hear in the comment section. Or I've gotten prom as well. But make sure you tag me because I would love to see them and hype you up. What do you think my next look's gonna be? Stay tuned. Bye besties.